Hi there, my name's Nick, and this is the Get Me Off Grid video blog where I discuss the possibilities of getting myself off grid and tell you about the things which I've discovered and a bit about my journey. One of these solutions I was thinking of for off-grid living that might help to deal with the issue of cooking fuel as well as heating was ethanol. This would require some experimentation. I discovered there was something called gel fires or gel fireplaces, which are flueless, chimneyless fires, which require no plumbing, and you just basically set them up in your living room and set fire to them. Which sounds terribly dangerous, but if the right precautions are taken, these particular devices do appear to be safe. But my curiosity was about the ethanol fuel itself and whether you could use that for cooking and heating. Ethanol fireplaces would of course provide some heating. There's two different types of ethanol. One of them I've actually managed to get my hands on. This is bioethanol flame gel. Now it might be called a gel, but if you look at it, I don't know whether you can see that there, it does flow. So it's more like a thick oil rather than an actual solid gel. I had envisaged it being a solid gel when I bought it. But I have been doing some experimentation with this outside. Unfortunately, I haven't filmed it because I wanted to, during the first time I did it, I assumed that the alcohol flames might be invisible, or indeed very low visibility, so I wanted to be able to see them, so I did it at night, basically. The variety of experiments I did is I burnt the liquid gel in a container like this, got a nice flame mass that appeared like a flaming dancing rose at about that height, did rather nicely. So essentially that proved to me that a container like this for small quantities of fire gel would work very nicely. And I then tried other things. I tried tins that were very tall, and I just put a little in the bottom, just a very little, and I tried lighting that with a taper made out of paper which crumpled inside. The ashes and the carbon extinguished the ethanol, so that's the wrong way of lighting it. Secondly, I tried putting a blob of the gel on the end of a long metal thing, which happened to be a salad tong, and I set fire to that and dipped that into a fresh jar with some fire gel in it. That set fire to it nicely. The flame height sometimes got a little smothered by the height of the tin. Okay, because oxygen's got to go in and feed the fire. Taking that into account, I mean, it burned nicely. There was a dancing flame that was, I suppose, one and a half hands high. So it was a safe-ish kind of like flame height. My next thought was, if I was to use this for cooking, I would need a stable flame, a nice stable bright flame. So I took one of the food tins that I had drilled holes in for the purposes of using it for a wood gas experiment. Now that means you take your tin, in this case I'll just illustrate this with my teacup, and you drill a mass of holes in a line right the way around the bottom vertical wall. So you got a whole ring of holes around there. You also make a mass of holes in the bottom, and you also do another ring of holes, kind of like 3/4 the way up the cup, or just like an inch or so, or beneath the top of the tin, and those become your air intake jets. And I set that food tin in a little metal pot like this. Bam. Okay. And what I did was I put in enough of the fire liquid gel thing to come up to about there on the food tin. Just like 1/2 inch high. That's it. And I set fire to that on the inside of the tin. What I got was the perfect wood gas flame pattern. But I got it more stable, I got it rising more quickly. Okay. And it was perfect. It was nice, hot, stable, fierce alcohol flame, sticking up like, our hands high in a perfect cone. And I thought, that's usable. So what I've realized is, as ethanol in its gel form. Remember, I was doing these experiments today purely with gel, not with liquid ethanol, which would behave more violently, one would assume. Ethanol gel, which is like damn near zero emission, can actually be used via something which is similar to the wood gas stove for the purposes of providing good quality, useful cooking flames. Okay? And if I was to design, with the help of drilling a few holes, a system that was similar to that, but with the first line of holes being like, I don't know, halfway up the tin, and the second line of holes being just like an inch beneath the top of the tin for a very tall tin, with no paint on it, and I only filled it up to the first line of holes, that could be a good way of starting a good quality, stable flame reaction for bioethanol. So, the experience, or the experiment in this particular case, has proven quite successful. We have the technology. Now what I need to do is to get my hands on either the liquid bioethanol and turn it into a gel by myself at home using the chemical reaction including chalk and vinegar, and it's all rather complex. And or I can make my own. I can distill my own alcohol and try and make a gel from that, and see whether I can use that in my own stoves indoors. I will quickly point out there was a bit of a sooty kind of smell coming off the wood gas stove tin, but I put that down to the fact that I've used that that tin previously for wood gas, and it therefore had soot on it. So I don't think that the ethanol itself would necessarily be adding to the quantity of soot. So I just wanted to get that nice and clear. Thank you for watching. Good fortune. God bless. Look after yourself. Experiment safely, as safely as you can. I don't want you to be the first casualties. Okay, but fire gel can be a useful addition to your off-grid technology.